Students have vowed to continue with their nationwide protest. They're calling for historical debt to be scrapped and free registration for all students. Yesterday, a student was shot and wounded at Wits University. Last week, a passerby was also shot and killed in Braamfontein. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu is at the University of Johannesburg for us this morning, and ETV's news and sport reporter Pulile Twitty-Jones is at UNISA in Pretoria. Let's start in Johannesburg first. Manqoba, a very good morning to you. And what are you seeing happening there? Another day of protest planned.
Well, certainly, Yuveka, we have been told by some of the student leaders here at the University of Johannesburg that they will continue with their national shutdown today. We're hearing that the students will be marching from the Bunting Road campus later on this morning. They'll be making their way to this campus here just behind me, which is the Kingsway campus, and this is where they're expected to gather today to receive a line of march from some of those student leaders as to what today the activities for this particular protest will be. You can see behind me, Yuveka, police officials have also started arriving here today. We did see them also yesterday here at this particular campus, around the gates of this campus, beefing up security and ensuring that the protests do not get out of hand. But Yuveka, I just want to quickly bring in eNCA Mabona, who is the national organizer of SASCO, just to talk to us about this protest and some of their demands that they've made to the minister. Thank you for your time, eNCA. Let's start here. Day 2 of the national shutdown. Is it going ahead today? What are the plans?
We are going ahead today, and a shutdown, as we have said in our statement, that it will continue until our demands are met. Other campuses are beginning to join us. CJC is joining, and quite a number of them have joined today across the country. Many universities that had not been able to join us yesterday are calling and saying, we're joining today, we're shutting down our institutions of higher learning. So the shutdown continues, and you will see as the day progresses that our shutdown has not stopped, and we do not stop because of our meetings with the ANC that we had yesterday, because we've had another meeting with the ANC on Friday. We had another one yesterday. We're going to have another one on Thursday to try find ourselves and try find the money that had been taken away, try find solutions to how do we deal with financial exclusions and all the crises that we currently face in the higher education sector that primarily deal with the access to higher education.
Okay, let's talk about that meeting. We do understand that you met with the ANC top 6 yesterday as well as on Friday to try and find some sort of a resolution to this. So is there any promises or promises being made? What are they saying to you?
We met on Friday. The minister, of course, said there's now commitment to fund first years, contrary to what he had said that no first years will be funded by NSFAS. Yesterday we met again with the concerned ministers, the top 6 and the concerned ministers. Concerned ministers is Tito, for example, the Minister of Austerity Budgets, Minister Begicele of Police, Minister of COGTA, Manqoba Mchunu Zuma, and of course Blade Nzimande and his deputy, Butimana. So today he has told us that he's going to meet vice chancellors, all vice chancellors, 26 of them in the country, and he will come back and report to us. The discussion with the vice chancellors is unblocking all financial excluded students with outstanding or no outstanding fees. They will be unblocked, and that is a discussion the minister is having with quite a number of vice chancellors, all vice chancellors. Of course, we understand that UWC, even if it's not part of the meeting, although it will be part, they have unblocked all their students, even those with outstanding fees. So we hope that UWC in this meeting will provide kind of a guidance as to how do they manage to unblock all their students, even with outstanding fees. So from here, we'll go back to report to the team of top 6 of ANC, top 6 of SASCO, and of course the concerned ministers. And then we'll take it from there as to how do we deal with historical debt, because this one of unblocking students in the higher education, all universities would have been able perhaps to deal with it by today.
But how feasible is it, given the fact that many of the universities say they simply can't afford this? So are you not pushing for something that might not be feasible?
No, look, especially in the historically disadvantaged institutions, it is feasible. you will find that in the Central University of Technology and WUSU and institutions alike, that above 90% of the students are on NSFAS. So it is students that their debts is not due to their own pockets. It is debt that is owed by NSFAS to the institution, or it is debt that historical debt of students who had not been funded by NSFAS previously, which were pleading with the minister to say these students had not met the criteria, this or that criteria before, but now they're currently meeting it. Some are being affected by COVID retrenchments, COVID job salary cuts, and this and that. As you would know, NSFAS last year pronounced that they were cutting about 50 students from the defunding about 50 students. So we've had all of these students being defunded. We've had some of these students who were not qualifying before now qualifying due to job losses, salary cuts in the private sector, and so on. So we're not asking for something that is not feasible. UWC in itself is not a rich university, but has done it. Quite a number of universities are saying it is doable. Today we're speaking to the UP Vice Chancellor and he's saying it is doable at Takis. So we're saying all of these Vice Chancellors must come on board and say, how do we register all students without demanding them to pay a certain percentage of their outstanding fees or registration fees? So we're able and we're willing to meet each and every Vice Chancellor should the minister fail to persuade them. We'll meet them ourselves and persuade them that it is feasible to unblock students to register and to deal with the historical debt as in when they are in the process, they are registered in the system. Because the president of the country, the president of the ANC, has said to us he is optimistic that we'll be able to resolve this question of historical debt, as it is something that has been bothering the country. You would remember 2017, December the 16th, the then President JZ made a bold pronouncement saying historical debt must be scrapped gradually.
I have to ask you this before I let you go. Of course, we've seen quite a lot of violence with these students' processes that have been taking place. But more especially, we've seen a lot of hostility towards the media, especially eNCA. I myself was harassed and intimidated yesterday, as well as my colleagues, Lindelo Masikane. What is your position as SASCO? Surely the media should be allowed to do its work. It is our constitutional right. What's your position as SASCO in terms of journalists being threatened?
Of course, it is not the South African Students' Congress. You would have to go look at the video.
But it was. In fact, I was threatened by members of SASCO.
Okay. Look, there's been a lot of controversy around eNCA and how it had not been able to deal with racial questions, racism or alleged racism by some of its journalists, top journalists. Of course, you would have seen in Parliament the interviews and so on and so on. It has quite been a trending question that we had said we're not satisfied at how ANC dealt with the question, but we're saying South African Students' Congress as an NEC, we're making a bold statement that says each and every media house must be allowed to interview SASCO leaders, must be allowed its freedom. I mean, this is hard-earned freedom for this country, and we're saying the South African Students' Congress was found in trenches together with those liberation movements fighting for media freedom. So we can't be the ones now saying we must stifle the media freedom. No, it is not us that will be saying that. Actually, we'll be at the forefront of saying each and every media house will be allowed to interview or to cover our protests, including not limited to eNCA.
But will you be telling this message to your members? Because on the ground, it's a different picture.
We will be telling our members who are here in Johannesburg, and other NEC members who are deployed everywhere and anywhere else. This is our shutdown, and in our shutdown we're saying each and everyone whom we have invited you to our shutdown. We have invited the public to our shutdown. We are speaking to the public through you, the media. So we can't be saying the media must be chased away. That is regressive.
Okay. Thank you. Let's hold it there. Atenkosi Mabona speaking to us there about this particular protest that is taking place here. I'll hand it back to you, Uveka, in studio.
Manqoba, thanks very much. That's what's happening at UJ at the moment. Let's head on over to Pretoria.